He was hired to translate Navajo into English and Spanish. By 1874, he was hired on at Fort Defiance and Fort Wingate. There, he met a Navajo man who was a leader of this area, Ganado Mucho. He thought this man was of good character and could come into his community and begin trading. So Hubbell came out here in 1876, leaving the Fort Defiance, and started trading. So lived out here the rest of his life. Died in 1930 when he was 77 years old. As it happens, he would do whatever he could to accommodate that business that he had started, accommodate his family, so this was home. What you see here are the structures that Hubbell had built, and you don't see what happened during that time, but you see what is left. You see the contents of the home, the trading post, the barn. You see the wagons, you see the corrals, you see the fields. What you don't see is what happened here, the activities. You don't see where the water is coming from, Ganado Lake. You also don't know, unless you've been here, that it was because of the irrigation system that helped develop the community of Ganado, which Hubbell encouraged other Navajos to irrigate off of the waters. None of them would have not gone as far as Hubbell did to create such a huge, self-sustaining ranch or business. If you kind of look at the buildings, you can see in it that this is kind of fortress looking, very strong. There's a wall that certainly prevents you from coming to the back side, and people pick that up still today. They don't wander around back here unless you invite them or encourage them to come back here, wander around, see the chickens, the wagons, the backside of the barn. They sure can do that. Hubbell had suspected that he may not be welcomed here, so he built this large stone building with bars on the windows. Inside the store, he made high, wide counters so you couldn't reach across and grab him. He never had any kind of a problem that was worth noting. There's nothing in the history of Ganado or in the family that anything like that had happened. The only thing that he mentioned is that a Navajo man one day walked into the trading post, picked up a bag of flour, put it on his shoulder, and walked out. Mr. Hubbell thought that was strange, but he thought that if he let him get away, word would get out that this man got a bag of flour for free. So Hubbell followed him out the door and then realized it was a dare because there were a group of Navajo people watching. They were anticipating him coming out, and Hubbell realized that once he stepped out. So then he thought quickly that, well, I can't pull my gun because, that will really start something that might be a typical response they might expect, and they're ready, and there's more of them than him. So he said, but I can't let it go. So he went to the man who had the flour. He grabbed him by the ear, twisted it, and led him back into the trading post and made him put the flour back. And that's like a test of character to see how he would handle this. And all the contents that the family chose to leave behind shows everybody the life they had here, what home was, what this place meant to them, and how committed they were to staying here. 3 generations lived here in the Hubbell home. Mr. Hubbell's children grew up here, took part in the trading business. They raised their children here, which there were 5 grandchildren, and then left everything behind so that the story could continue to be told to everybody. And it's a big story. The house, the Hubbell home, is as it is, or as the family had it when they left in 1967. All of the original furnishings are placed as the Hubbell family had it. You can walk around the grounds and kind of see all the activities. If you think about it long enough and spend some time and think, what could this have been used for? You begin to see that this place was self-sustaining. And Mr. Hubbell had a baker here. He baked about over 100 loaves of bread in one batch or one day. There was no money. The trade item from the Navajo side was wool, sheep, weaving, and sheepskins. Those were the big trade items here. They also had piñon nuts, and it would be later, much later, when they would start bringing in jewelry or pottery or baskets. That was much later. Well, the trading post today still provides for a traditional Navajo community who still values tradition and ceremony. But Hubbell brought his whole, everything that made him John Lorenzo Hubbell, he brought with him. He brought uncles and brothers and cousins. He brought his wife, brought his children, raised his grandchildren here. So they became their own unique family because they were raised here among Navajo people in a Navajo community. So it's the other way around too, is that Hubbell would have not been this person if he had not come and followed his dream, his destiny, his hunch maybe, that he could come out here and start something.